Our story begins with an unconscious man falling from the sky at terrifying speed. Suddenly, his eyes snap open. The moment he realizes what's happening, panic takes over. He is thousands of feet above the ground, free-falling toward a massive jungle below. He desperately reaches for his parachute and tries to deploy it, but nothing happens. The ground gets closer every second. His heart races as death seems inevitable. Then, at the very last moment, the parachute opens automatically. His speed decreases slightly, but not enough to guarantee a safe landing. He crashes through multiple trees before slamming into the forest floor and losing consciousness. After some time, he wakes up. His name is Peter. Looking around, he sees nothing but endless jungle in every direction. He has no memory of how he arrived here. Before he can understand the situation, another man lands nearby using a parachute. This man is a dangerous Mexican gangster, and the first thing he does is point a gun directly at Peter. Peter quickly tells him that he's not an enemy and convinces him to lower the weapon. But before either of them can relax, a third person falls from the sky. Unlike them, his parachute never opens. The man crashes into the ground and dies instantly. Suddenly, gunfire erupts from somewhere in the jungle. Peter and the gangster run for cover. Thinking quickly, Peter circles around and sneaks behind the shooter. He points a gun at the attacker's back and orders him to stop. The shooter introduces himself as Nikolai, a Russian soldier. He explains that he was fighting in a war before being knocked unconscious. When he woke up, he was already falling through the sky. Believing Peter and the gangster were enemies, he attacked first. Moments later, a woman appears with a sniper rifle aimed directly at them. Her name is Isabel, an elite sniper. After listening to their conversation, she realizes they are all trapped in the same situation and joins the group. The team begins moving through the jungle together. Isabel reveals that while she was parachuting down, she saw several other people landing in different locations. Unknown to them, a silent Japanese man is already following their trail. He has even removed his shoes so nobody can hear his footsteps. A short distance later, the group discovers two men fighting each other. The moment they notice the larger group, they stop and decide to join forces. Soon afterward, they hear desperate screams coming from above. Following the sound, they find a man hanging upside down from a tree. His parachute became tangled in the branches during landing. Peter shoots the tangled cord, causing the man to drop safely to the ground. He introduces himself as Stans, a doctor. Now the team is complete. Peter, Isabel, Nikolai the gangster, Stans, a convicted criminal, an African warrior, and the mysterious Japanese man all stand together. Unfortunately, none of them know where they are, why they were brought here, or how they can escape. As the group continues deeper into the jungle, an uneasy feeling settles over everyone. Something about this place feels wrong. The forest is completely silent, almost as if every living creature is hiding from something. Then they stumble across a horrifying discovery. Scattered across the ground are dozens of human skulls and bones. Some look old, while others appear relatively fresh. The sight immediately tells them one thing: many people have come here before them, and most of them never made it out alive. Everyone becomes even more determined to find a way off this mysterious world. While moving through the forest, Nikolai notices a strange plant and reaches toward it. Before he can touch it, Stans quickly stops him. He explains that the plant contains an extremely powerful toxin. Just a small amount of its liquid can completely paralyze a person. Interested in its potential usefulness, Stans carefully coats a knife blade with the poisonous substance and keeps it with him. A few moments later, disaster strikes. The African warrior accidentally steps onto a hidden pressure plate. Instantly, deadly traps activate all around them. Massive spikes shoot downward from above, while a giant tree trunk swings through the area like a wrecking ball. Everyone dives for safety. During the chaos, Isabel nearly runs straight into a deep pit filled with sharpened wooden stakes. She barely manages to grab the edge before falling to her death. Her grip starts slipping, and she slowly slides closer to the spikes below. At the last second, Peter reaches her and pulls her back to safety. Now everyone has the same question: who built these traps? Using her sniper scope, Isabel spots what appears to be a man hiding in the distance. The group rushes toward the location, hoping for answers. Instead, they find a corpse. The man has clearly been dead for some time. His body is covered with wounds, unlike anything they have ever seen. Nearby, they discover a journal belonging to him. According to the diary, he was once a U.S. Army soldier. He had spent a long time studying whatever creature lives in this jungle and had even tried to hunt it. Unfortunately, the creature proved far more dangerous than he expected and eventually killed him. As the group leaves the area, the African warrior suddenly feels as though someone is watching them. He carefully scans the trees but sees absolutely nothing. What he doesn't know is that he's right. High above them, hidden among the branches, an invisible creature is observing their every move. Through advanced infrared vision, it can see the heat signatures of every member of the team. Later, the group reaches a large clearing. When they look up into the sky, they freeze. Hanging above them are three enormous planets. At that moment, the horrifying truth becomes clear. This isn't Earth. They have somehow been transported to an entirely different world. Peter quickly gathers himself and says that if there was a way to bring them here, then there must also be a way to get home. Suddenly, a strange flying drone passes overhead. Everyone immediately goes on alert, and only seconds later, terrifying alien creatures burst out of the jungle and charge directly toward them. The strange creatures race toward the group at incredible speed. Their appearance is terrifying, and within seconds, everyone opens fire. Bullets tear through the jungle as the team fights desperately to survive. One of the creatures is blown apart by gunfire, but the others keep charging. Another creature locks onto the escaped convict and rushes straight for him. Just before it reaches him, the African warrior jumps in and kills it, saving the convict's life. Meanwhile, Stans the doctor is completely unarmed. Panic takes over and he runs for safety. Isabel quickly helps him climb a nearby tree while she stays behind to cover him. Unfortunately, her ammunition runs out. The creature slowly approaches her. With no bullets left, it seems like there is no way to stop it. Then suddenly, a strange whistle echoes through the jungle. The creature immediately stops attacking and runs toward the source of the sound like a trained hunting dog responding to its master. Everyone is confused. Who controlled the creature? Before they can figure it out, they realize that the Mexican gangster has disappeared. A few moments later, they hear his screams. The group follows the sound and finds him sitting on the ground with his back facing them. He isn't moving at all. Something feels wrong. Peter immediately suspects a trap. Instead of approaching, he throws a rock toward the gangster. The moment the rock lands, hidden mechanisms activate. The gangster is already dead. A deadly trap had killed him long before they arrived. Seeing her teammate suffering, Isabel makes the difficult decision to put him out of his misery with a single gunshot. The team continues forward. Soon they discover enormous footprints pressed deep into the ground. Whatever made them must be huge. Following the tracks leads them to one of the most horrifying sights yet. Bodies hang from trees throughout the area. Blood stains the ground. Some victims have been skinned alive. Then they notice something even stranger. A predator is chained to a tree. At first, everyone assumes it is dead. Nikolai carefully approaches it. Suddenly, the creature opens its eyes and lets out a terrifying scream. At the exact same moment, another hidden trap activates. Sharp spikes burst upward from the ground and impale the African warrior before he can react. He dies instantly. Chaos erupts. Peter begins firing wildly into the jungle. Although he can't see his target, some bullets appear to hit something invisible, but their enemy has a huge advantage. It can see them. They can't see it. Realizing they are completely outmatched, Peter shouts for everyone to run. The survivors sprint through the jungle as fast as possible. Reaching the edge of a cliff, they leap into a river below. After a dangerous fall, they land in the water and swim desperately toward the shore. Once they reach safety, a drone flies overhead and returns to the previous battlefield. There, the truth is finally revealed. The invisible hunters show themselves. There aren't one or two of them. There are three. Three massive predators emerge from the shadows. These creatures are larger, stronger, and more terrifying than any predator ever encountered before. Peter now understands exactly what is happening. They are not stranded on this world by accident. They are prey. Someone brought them here to be hunted. Looking at the remaining survivors, Peter delivers a grim warning. The predators aren't going to let us leave this planet alive. Then he makes a decision. Instead of running forever, they're going to fight back. After learning that they are being hunted, the survivors hide deep within the jungle and begin thinking of a way to fight back. Using her sniper scope, Isabel spots movement in the distance. It looks like one of the predators. Peter quickly comes up with a plan. One member of the team will act as bait while the others wait in ambush. The bait begins shouting and making noise to attract the hunter. Something approaches through the trees. Everyone prepares to attack, but when the creature finally appears, they realize it isn't a predator at all. Instead, another strange alien animal crashes out of the jungle and is immediately killed by a gunshot. The strange thing is that Isabel never fired. Someone else did. A voice suddenly calls out from nearby. "I'm here." The survivors spin around in shock. Standing directly behind Peter is a massive figure wearing predator armor and holding a powerful weapon aimed straight at him. For a moment, everyone believes they have been captured. Then the figure removes its helmet. To their surprise, a human face is underneath. The man's name is Noland. He explains that he has been trapped on this planet for years. According to him, the predators can track people from miles away, and if they want to survive, they need to follow him immediately. Having no better option, the group follows him through the jungle. Eventually, Noland leads them to an old crashed spaceship hidden among the trees. Inside, he finally tells his story. Years ago, he arrived on this planet the same way they did. Every member of his team was eventually killed by the predators. Somehow, he managed to survive. For 3 years, he has been hiding, stealing supplies, and studying the creatures. He even claims to have killed 2 predators and taken pieces of their armor. Peter asks the question everyone wants answered. How do we kill them? Noland explains that the predators see using infrared vision, allowing them to detect body heat even in total darkness. He also reveals something even more disturbing. There are 2 different predator species on this planet, the normal predators and the much larger super predators. The super predators don't just hunt humans, they also hunt the normal predators. Suddenly, Peter understands the meaning of the chained predator they discovered earlier. It wasn't a hunter, it was a prisoner. A dangerous plan begins forming in Peter's mind. If they can free the chained predator, maybe it will help them escape. Better yet, perhaps it knows how to operate the predator spacecraft. For the first time since arriving on the planet, the survivors have a possible way home. As the group discusses the plan, Noland appears to fall asleep. But during the night, smoke slowly begins filling the room. Peter immediately realizes something is wrong. Noland has betrayed them. He is trying to knock them unconscious so he can steal their weapons and supplies. The exits are locked from the outside. With no time to waste, Peter fires his gun at the door. The shot echoes across the jungle. Unfortunately, the sound attracts exactly the kind of attention they don't want. A predator hears the gunshot, and it starts heading directly toward the spaceship. Within minutes, the hunter arrives. The first victim is Noland himself. Before he can escape, the predator kills him without hesitation. Then it turns its attention toward the survivors hiding inside. The predator begins hunting through the crashed spaceship, searching for the remaining survivors one by one. In the confusion, Stans the doctor becomes separated from the group. Alone and terrified, he tries to hide, but the predator quickly spots him. Just as the creature is about to kill him, Nikolai rushes in and drags the doctor to safety. But saving Stans comes at a heavy cost. Nikolai is hit during the attack and suffers a serious wound. Instead of helping the man who just saved his life, Stans runs away and leaves him behind. The predator catches up to Nikolai moments later. A massive blade punches through his chest. Knowing he has no chance of survival, Nikolai pulls out a grenade. The predator realizes too late what he's doing. With his final act of courage, Nikolai detonates the grenade and takes both himself and the predator out in a massive explosion. One predator is finally dead. Meanwhile, the escaped convict manages to reach safety outside. Believing the danger is over, he begins celebrating. His relief lasts only seconds. A second predator suddenly appears and shoots him from behind. The convict collapses to the ground. Even while dying, he refuses to give up. He repeatedly stabs the predator with a knife, but the creature barely notices the attacks. With a single brutal strike, the predator kills him. Now, only Peter, Isabel, Stans, and the Japanese warrior remain alive. The predator continues tracking them through the jungle. Eventually, they reach an open field. The Japanese man suddenly stops walking. He knows the predator is still following them. Looking at the others, he tells them to keep moving. He will stay behind. Moments later, the super predator steps into the field. The Japanese warrior slowly draws his sword. Only now do the others learn who he truly is. He is a powerful Yakuza leader and an expert swordsman. The predator activates its wrist blades. Neither warrior speaks. For a few seconds, complete silence fills the field. Then both charge forward. A fierce duel begins. Steel clashes against alien blades as the two warriors exchange deadly attacks. The fight is fast, brutal, and surprisingly even. But victory comes at a terrible price. His own wounds are fatal. After surviving everything this planet has thrown at him, he slowly falls to the ground and dies beside his defeated enemy. Now, only one super predator remains. Elsewhere, Peter, Isabel, and Stans continue running through the jungle. Suddenly, Stan steps into another hidden trap. His leg is badly injured, making it impossible for him to continue. Peter immediately realizes the situation is hopeless. Carrying the doctor will slow them down enough for the predator to catch everyone. He tells Isabel they must leave Stans behind, but Isabel refuses. She isn't willing to abandon a teammate. Peter understands he has no time to argue. Leaving them behind, he heads toward the location where the chained predator was being held. He has decided to risk everything on one final plan. If the imprisoned predator is willing to help him, there may still be a way to escape this nightmare planet and finally return home. Peter finally reaches the location where the captured predator is still chained. Standing face to face with the alien warrior, he makes a deal. If I set you free, you help me get back to Earth. To Peter's surprise, the predator understands exactly what he is saying. The creature nods in agreement. Peter cuts the restraints. For the first time in who knows how long, the predator is free. The alien immediately activates a device and begins preparing a predator spaceship for launch. Hope finally returns. After everything they have endured, Peter may actually have a way home. But elsewhere, Isabel and Stans are not so lucky. While trying to escape, they trigger another trap and become tangled in a net. Moments later, the final super predator appears and drops them into a deep pit. Back at the launch site, the freed predator confronts the super predator. The two ancient enemies charge at each other. A brutal battle erupts. At the same time, Peter runs toward the spaceship, believing escape is finally within reach. But inside the pit, an even greater danger is revealed. Stan suddenly pulls out the poisoned knife he created earlier. Without warning, he slices Isabel across the neck. Within seconds, the toxin spreads through her body. She becomes completely paralyzed, unable to move or even speak. Then Stans reveals the horrifying truth. He was never an innocent doctor. Back on Earth, he was a serial killer who kidnapped and murdered women. Being dropped onto this hunting world simply gave him new victims. His plan is simple. He intends to offer Isabel to the predator in exchange for his own survival. Moments later, Peter unexpectedly appears above the pit. He never boarded the spaceship. Instead, he came back for his teammates. Realizing Peter has arrived, Stans immediately pretends to be innocent and claims that the predator attacked Isabel. Unfortunately for him, Peter already knows the truth. As Peter helps Isabel, Stans attempts one final betrayal and raises the poisoned knife behind him. But Peter was waiting for it. He grabs Stan's arm, turns the blade around, and drives it straight into the killer's throat. With the threat eliminated, Peter prepares for one final battle. Using Stan's body as bait, he surrounds the area with explosives, gunpowder, and traps. Then he completely covers himself in mud. The mud hides his body heat, making him nearly nearly invisible to the predator's infrared vision. Soon, the super predator arrives. Unable to detect Peter, it notices the body and approaches. The moment it investigates, boom! A massive explosion tears through the area and badly injures the creature. Peter ignites the ring of gunpowder surrounding the battlefield. Flames rise everywhere, disrupting the predator's vision. Taking advantage of the confusion, Peter attacks again and again. The wounded predator fights back with incredible strength, throwing Peter across the battlefield. Just when the monster is about to deliver the killing blow, Isabel finally recovers enough to move. She crawls to a rifle and fires. The bullet strikes the predator directly in the chest. Enraged, predator's arm. His second strike ends the fight forever. The predator's head falls to the ground. All three super predators are finally dead. The next morning, Peter and Isabel look up at the sky and see new parachutes descending from above. The hunt has begun again, but this time, Peter smiles. In his hand is the super predator's remote control, the key to finding a way back to Earth. And with new hope, Peter and Isabel begin their journey home. The end.